Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bigger Than Airsoft podcast. I'm your host, Ocho from Send It Squad, and today's special guest, we have Ryan, or CPT Venom. We're so excited to have him on this show, and we're about to start the episode on hearing about his journey into Airsoft, the community role he plays, and how he helps grow the sport. Ryan, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, my friend. It's good to see you again.
Of course, yeah. It's been 2 weeks since
2 weeks,
USL.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man.
Oh man.
But you know what? It's been a party. It ain't over till it's over.
Straight up, man. It was a good time. I'm not gonna lie. Like seeing all these new teams and everything. Like, bro, like I never seen because there's been SpeedQB events that I've attended, and there would be only 4 or 6 teams, but this one, you guys had what is it, 11 or
13?
13, bro. The amount of teams that showed up, and then when you guys beat LSA, bro, that was insane, man. It was a good time.
Oh heck yeah, dude!
Heck yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me on, bro.
Of course, anytime, man. But let's get started. Let's. Where are you from? What team do you rep and represent? And how did you first get introduced to Airsoft?
So I'm from California. I'm not gonna say exactly where I live, but I'm in Riverside County, and I'm on CPT, or Carpinteros, CPT Los Angeles, and I got into Airsoft roughly 2 years after the pandemic hit. So it was around 2020, 2021, me and my friends were just we would go out, have fun and everything, because we all thought the world was ending, you know what I mean? Because everything shut down, and we were just bored one day, and my friend was like, we should do Airsoft. And initially, I wasn't really into it or anything. I was just kind of are you sure about this? And I really wasn't into it. But, so we decided to do it. We all got SEMA Plat, guns and stuff like that. I had a SEMA Plat AK-74U, full metal with a foldable stock. Bro, it was crazy. My first Airsoft gun, that was what I got. And then I got an Action Army. I got an AAP, just a stock one. And I wore a 2-piece mask. All right.
All right.
So that was the loadout. That was my first loadout. I looked so cringe, so bad. It was zero aura, no drip at all. But dude, okay, so yeah, I started in 2022 at my local field, which is Code Red Airsoft Park, which is in Paris. Not the actual Paris, but you know what? It's Paris, California. It's farthest thing from Paris, France. Okay.
Yeah.
So, started playing there for a couple of years, and really would just be there weekend warrior, with all my friends. We would just every Sunday, every Saturday, because it's open Saturday, Saturday and Sunday, and sometimes we would be open Friday.
Oh, for
and
sure.
So, we were just weekend warriors going there until 2023. Me and my friends were like, hey, there's more parks in the Southern California area. Let's go to Tac City. Let's go to N1. Let's go to SC Village. Let's go to all these other parks. And we hit Tac City. Had a pretty good time the first time I did. And back then, my kit was upgraded. I had a Dye I4, and then I had Stormtrooper shoulder pads, bro. Still cringe, but the drip improved. Okay.
Yeah, it improved. I can vouch for that, but fight for the Republic all day long, baby.
I know you're the Republic, but I'm Empire all day. I don't give a shit, bro. Hey, we got the weapons, we got everything, we have the best stuff. Okay, but anyway, it'll be a little bit Reddit here, all right? But okay, but to continue, yeah. So I was just bouncing between Tac City and Code Red, and then we went to Project N1. Now, here's a little lore behind my first time. So, obviously, I ran, at this time, I have an EMG SMG, and it's just your stock, it's kind of like a submachine gun, basically, and, well, I don't know, but it was just a regular, AEG, not even upgraded. And I just went with all my friends. My friends had like Loco Airsoft. If you know, yo, shout out to Loco Airsoft, bro. If anybody knows Loco Airsoft, y'all been there since day one, straight up. But anyway, so my friend had one of those builds, and like we were just having a good time. And then we decided, oh, we should leave. But my friend was like, no, we should stay here until the end of the night. And then my friend, oh, dude. So we all die. We're all in the dead box. It's just him. And on the opposite end of the field, there's 5 players. He wipes out all 4. And then he sees one guy behind a barrier. And he's running sideways, right? Trips on himself, falls flat on his knee, fractures his tibia, and smashes all the cartilage in his knee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the day we all decided, we're wearing knee pads. Like, it was so bad. But other than that, I mean, that was the first time. And then before that, we were also planning on checking out what the whole SpeedQB scene was at the time, because it was relatively new. Not like relatively new, but like relatively new to like players like us, because we were just watching the videos on YouTube. We would watch SpeedQB California Love. We would watch Demo, obviously, and then the KWA Fight Nights.
Oh, yeah.
With Eddie Valiant. And also, they had a KWA Fight Night at Battle Lab. And we were regulars at Battle Lab, too, at the time. So we were like, my friend was like, oh, we should do SpeedQB and, like, just start a team. And I was just like, what even is this, you know? Like, to begin with, I was just like, what is this? And so, when my friend effed up his knee and broke it, he's fine now. He got it fixed. He's walking around. He's doing outdoor Milsim events and stuff like that. But he was like, oh, you got to go to Tac City and do SpeedQB. And I was like, what? What are we doing here, bro? Like, I didn't even know what it was. I was just it was just a fresh out of eyes. Yeah, and so we started a new team. It was called Raiders. But, yeah, no, we started a team called Raiders. And then, basically what we did was, we went there. And I remember it just like it was yesterday. It was wooden barriers. There was some that had felt on it, but it was just, like, so, like, OG. Like, I remember watching demo videos with these barriers. I was like, oh my gosh. And I went my first time. I borrowed my friend's Fusion, and it was in an SSG-1, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I got my ass handed to me bad. Dude, I got humbled every time I went. And I was like, this is the worst thing ever.
Oh,
But then my friend hooked me up with a Loco Airsoft gun, which was basically like a DSG with like a monk upper and a Lancer tactical body, and it had a tank, like you know the axis grip for
yeah.
Before that, you would get like a PTS grip, and my tech, he's from Thailand, and he got a little tank grip, or you could put your battery in it, just like the Axis grip. Or not the Axis. I'm thinking about something else. It's the AirTag grip, but you can put the battery in it. But before that, it was like a full CNC thing. And I just started going back there every time and just getting better. I got to meet some of the people like Patrick, who is formerly on ATBH. Then he played with 1S1K, and now he's on Murder Inc. I got to play with Zeps, as we all know. He used to be on...
Love you, Zeps. Love you.
He used to be on Biohazard at the time. And so, yeah, he taught me a lot. And, you know, I'm thankful for his tips and everything. And he's just such a cool guy all around. Dan Carpinteros just popped up out of nowhere. Like, just like, completely out of left field. I didn't even know these guys. They were just starting, you know, and... A few years later, I improved. I was getting better at, like, I upgraded from the CG to a Fusion ESG build, which was a pain, for me, it was a pain in the ass to make. Because, well, I'm self-taught. I just did it on the fly. I didn't watch any tutorial, you know. And so I improved a little bit from that point forward. And then I joined a team called TSU. So TSU was made up of two people that, well, one of them, well, there's a couple now on CPT, but we'll get to that later. It was Vibes, who's now on Marshmallow Hunters, and then it was my teammate Walter. And they were just there, like, balling out, and it was me, my friend Isaac, and one of my friends from Battle Lab. His name's Grayson. Okay. And so we were like, oh, like, because we were done with Raiders at this time. Like, later on, we were just done with it. We were like, oh, let's just go to, like, let's just stomp on people at SpeedQB. Let's just, let's just do our own thing, right? We were just going to go there, do, like, weekend, like, just pick up games. Because it used to be SpeedQB Monday. Now they don't have that. But, so I was talking with Vibes because at the time, he was big on TikTok. He was getting, like, hella views on TikTok. And he got reposted by, like, big accounts and everything. And I was like, yo, guys, this could possibly be an opportunity. Like, if we, like, because we didn't know what he was doing. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm starting a new speed team. And I was like, oh, really? Well, we're all interested. And he was like, all right, let me see you guys play. And so we all played that whole day. And, dude, we balled out. And he just signed us on the spot. It was crazy. So that's kind of like the beginning lore of me, like, getting into SpeedQB.
Yeah, for sure.
In the Speedsoft scene, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like, it sounds like you've come a long way from, like, outdoor beginner to indoor beginner to better at outdoor, better at indoor, getting slowly but surely better. Like, that's what it's all about, is, like, growth and everything. If you don't get better in one night, you get better over time. It takes practice, dedication, confidence in yourself, and confident that you can be the best. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, after we got signed to TSU, we started signing players like crazy. I mean, well, they were already, like, we got Parker, we had Isaac, we had my friend Grayson, we had Walter Vibes, we had another one of their friends that joined us. And we did Jungle Ball. That was, like, my first experience of, of competition. Yeah. And so, like, it's all wooden barriers. It's like a maze, basically, and that was it. I just had, like, from that point, I was already hooked because I was just like, this is fun. We went up against Carpinteros in their beginning stage. This is when they had, like, only a couple players, and they had to, like, bring some friends or whatever, and I had a good time. They had a beginner's bracket, they had a rental bracket, and then they had, like, the advanced when we went up against LTD. Long story short, they kicked our ass, but other than that, we did that. Then we went to this one arena in Gardena, I think. It's called Adrenaline, and it has paintball bunkers for Speedsoft. And it's also indoor paintball, too, but they don't have... It's not like actual paintball. It's like foam balls. It's like the Nerf balls, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we did that, and that was freaking awesome. It was just a little event and whatnot. It was pretty lit. And then we got into SpeedQB. Regionals 1, 2, and 3. The first regionals event, I wore my Violence jersey. Dude, I had my all-black dye I-5. It was so fun. Even though, like, we didn't, like, place too great and everything. And at this time, Carpinteros was still small. CPT was still small. They only had, like, a few players. We beat them. And then we went up against Murder, lost against them. Then we lost against this other team that doesn't exist anymore. It's called Hellfire. But we'll get into that later. And then we did SpeedQB Regionals 2, where I switched from the dye mask because I was just like, it was too big and everything. And so I switched to what everybody was getting hooked on the JT. Like, it's just the standard mask that everybody needs to wear. It's perfect. Yeah. And so it was just like a complete upgrade. We got our new jerseys from Zahi. I think I don't know where they get those jerseys from, but we got our new jerseys from Zahi, where we got basically our names to, like, we can tear them off and we can put on new names and stuff like that. It was so cool. And then we did regionals 2 and 3. And then we did limited class. But I didn't participate in limited class, but we did that. But then towards the quarter tail end of 2024, I quit because I had a new team that reached out to me. And at this time, these were people that I knew who did outdoor airsoft with me, who, like, I was cool with, like that, straight up.
Yeah.
And we were going to start a new team because we wanted more teams to join the scene. We wanted to grow it. And we got, like, at this time, before it was Kaiju, they were called San Diego Bad Manners.
Yeah.
And so we had them, we had Shogun, we had Biohazard that was going to come out, and then we had, and the team I was joining was called 6mm Colt. And that was the name of the team. And so, you know, I quit TSU in, like, I think late to mid-November. Also, like, I had personal stuff going on at the time. But aside from that, I got picked up by 6mm, and we were going to compete, but I'm going to get lashed for this. But the guy that was running it really wasn't getting, like, nobody was really committing, and it was just me. It was just me going to Tax City, working on my craft and everything. And then I went to one SpeedQB Monday. Nobody. It was like 5 people that showed up. And it was Vargas and Donut. And so we were just waiting. I waited for like an hour for people to show up. And nobody showed up. And my Donut, who was on CPT at the time, he was like, hey, you want to just do 1v1s? He's running like a HPA tapped AAP. Yeah. And he was cracked, bro. He was like one of the best. And he was mentoring Vargas at this time. And I was like, you sure you don't want me to run a pistol? He's like, I don't give a fuck. And so we both go out there, kicks my ass bad. Like, dude, he just goes to the 50. I'm just sitting back, like, being an idiot. And he just runs up on me and shoots me in the back, like, every single time. And Vargas, too. And I was just, like, so, like, man, I suck. I shouldn't be doing this anymore. I'm done. And Donut was like, bro, you should join CPT. I can make you better. And I was like, are you serious? And he was like, if your team's not, like, competing or anything, you should, like, I don't know, reach out to me. Reach out to Rex. Reach out to Nestor. And I was like, I mean, if this is going to get me better in my playing level, then absolutely, I'm down. And so, yeah, after that, he was just like, yeah, you suck. You're joining us. And so, yeah, that's how I joined CPT. And then, you know, got added to the chat, and it was lit. That was my lore of how I joined CPT. So.
Oh, yeah, no. And that's a good lore to have, like, for when you explain to people, like, you come from not from knowing people that are pros. Like, you come from, like, learning on the dot, learning from people when meeting them and not realizing who they kind of are at first. Like, me and my guys, like, my team is all made up of people who have been rejected from getting put on, you know, LSA and other local teams at the time. We were all, like, the scraps.
Right.
And we were like, you know what? We can ball out like any of these guys. Can we beat them? Unsure. But it's worth a try. And that's when Send It Squad was born. So it's like, I get that feeling where it's like, yeah, I feel like I suck, but you're not going to get better unless you run and gun and go for it. Like, you need to full send and get going on it.
Exactly. And then, like just correcting issues that you have, like, for me, like right now, I'm working on my communication. Yeah. I am You heard me at USL. I was freaking loud. Like everybody and their mom could hear me saying, "Vargas, get enough, get slag." Dude. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, you know, like, and I say this to everybody, even like the new teams that just formed recently, like Kaiju. I mean, even though formerly they were Bad Manners, but there's new players on that team that I didn't even see on Bad Manners. And so Like, I try to motivate them and tell them, hey, look, work on this, watch your cross, make sure you communicate, make sure you're relaying the message. Like, how many people on our side is dead? How many is on the other side? Kill count, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try to help new teams because I want them to get better, and I want to compete against them. I want to grow the scene by adding more teams.
Yes.
And here's also, but that also comes into consideration, like, the whole, like, scene in general. Like, I feel like most, like, not all, but, like, a scene like SpeedQB, which I love. I enjoy it. But in 2025, when the rule set got, like, laid out, I had like 3 or 4 teams who wanted to compete, but because of the rule change, they didn't like it and they dropped out.
Yeah.
And so I was just like scratching my head like, bro, what's wrong with the rule change? I mean, like, yeah, it's 170 mag, it's limited mag capacity. Yeah, we're running shotguns now. But even just the way how it was organized, I feel like leagues like that need to not just like, don't just like do like your own thing. You have to kind of like cater to the players and what they want. You know what I mean? And
for
so
sure.
That's why I enjoyed USL, because you guys had refs, even though like some of them were kind of iffy. The rule set was good, mag capacity was fine, and then obviously like the loadouts, like no problems at all, and it was pretty smooth for the most part, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But like in the beginning of 2025, we did this thing called Players Club, and it started from 9 p.m. to 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And like, dude, we all got lives, you know what I mean? And so I feel like, you know, going into a new year, these leagues like SpeedQB have to come up with a plan before they like just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. Like, no, you gotta like have a plan.
Yeah.
And that's what you did, and that's why I love your league. I like CSL, and also I like SXL as well. And I feel like leagues like, you know, SpeedQB and NSL, they gotta really just cater to what the players want. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously within reason. Within reason. Like,
yeah, within reason.
Like, obviously, you know, blatant, like, no calls and everything. You gotta, like, you know, be on people's ass. You need a ref clinic. You need refs without a bias, especially. And yeah, really, that's just, you know, I'm glad that, you know, we did USL and it ran well and we podiumed and, you know, MVP.
MVP, baby. MVP.
Yeah,
MVP.
no. For the most part, yeah, ever since I joined CPT, you know, I love the guys on there, you know. It took me a while to, like, actually get to know them and everything, but throughout, like, 2025, it was just, like, an uphill battle because we're going up against Marshmallow Hunters and Murder Inc., who are SpeedQB champions, like, back-to-back. Well, I wouldn't say back-to-back, but they were, like, obviously SpeedQB champs, and it's just, like, everybody's sick and tired. Like, no offense. Hey, shout out Murder Inc., shout out Marshmallow Hunters. I love you guys. No hate. It's just, you know, another team had to win last year. So, because, you know, it does get a little bit repetitive, and everybody wants to see a different team win, you know? It's like the New England Patriots going to the Super Bowl every freaking year, and you're like, when's a new team going to be in there, you know?
Yeah, for sure. When are my Bengals going to be in there?
Yeah, and your Bengals, sorry, you know.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
It's a sad life.
Yeah,
no, but but I gotta ask one thing though. Do you prefer a certain style of play more than the other though? Do you prefer outdoor, Speedsoft, Milsim? What do you prefer by even slightest bit more?
I don't like, for me, I like both. I don't mind, like, I love playing outdoors. It's fun just shitting on rentals and getting them to cry and being like, I hit you 5 times. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, you missed all your BBs. I got a camera, you know what I mean? Like, I love doing that. But also, like, I love Speedsoft because, you know, I do have a competitive edge to me. I do like competing. And I do enjoy the environment that I'm around when I'm in SpeedQB, in Speedsoft. Like the people I surround myself with there, they're there to like help you work on whatever you need to work on, especially in terms of like teching your guns and whatever the case may be, and even Quitsky, like he's cool. And Paul from Bloodthirsty and Violence also. He's such a dog. Yeah. Love that guy. And, honestly, I feel like for me, I prefer Speedsoft. I prefer playing that more than being outdoor, but I don't mind. Like, I just swing between both because I do play outdoor.
You're like me. You like both, but you prefer one a little bit more, which is okay.
I agree. Yeah, exactly.
But, that's what we do. But I also got to ask, like, for your, has Airsoft helped you with, like, other stresses in the world, like mental health, depression, and, like, dealing with stress of just everyday life stuff? Like, has this hobby helped you do that?
For me, like, Airsoft in general, like, if I'm being honest, like I leave everything at the door. Like, once I step on the field or, like, once I'm there, I leave everything at the door. Like, I'm not letting, like, business between me and my family get in the way. I'm not dealing with, we're not dealing with single baby mama drama. We're not dealing with, just petty drama or, like, work-related stuff. I'm just there to ball out and have fun. And it's just kind of like, it may sound like cope, but, like, it is a little bit of an escape for me. It is a little bit of an escape hatch for me, so then I can just disappear from the world's problems. Like, I don't have to, deal with looking on the news and like, oh, great, we're in another war in the Middle East. Oh, gas prices are through the roof. I can, like, just forget about that at the moment and just leave it at the door.
For sure.
And so that's, I do believe it helps me mentally in that regard. And also, like, really, it's just the vibe. Like, the vibe every single time I go, whether it's outdoor, whether it's indoor, or just Speedsoft, like, I'm there having a good time. I'm chopping up with new people. I'm, most importantly, and I think it's important for me especially, like, now that we're national champs and everything, I need to, like, start, setting an example. We have a national title that we have to uphold this year, and we worked our way for it, but I feel like it's really important for me to, like, keep my emotions in check, especially, like, there's always going to be that guy that's not going to call shit. That's just a fact. There's always going to be that guy.
There's always that guy.
And there's always that guy, like, who's going up behind you, like, people are going to know who it is. Going to go behind your back and put the barrel to your back and shoot you twice. Like, and then, you just got to, like, zoom out and just, like, really just take it all in. You can't just, bring your emotions with you, because then you're going to start problems, and then, like, I just leave it at the door.
Yeah,
whatever you got going on in your life, you leave it at the door. Yeah. Once you leave, then you can deal with all your crap. Then you can deal with your mental issues, whether, single baby mama drama or whatever. You just deal with that when you get off the field and when you're at home. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah. No, yeah, for sure. And, like, it's a good thing to make that an escape. I feel the same way. A lot of people do. Mm-hmm. But,
and also, like, what's nice is that, like, I got people in, like you, and, like, many other people in the CPT team that I can reach out to when I'm having a tough time,
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what I appreciate, like, making new friends, and then, like, hey, look, we all go through it and everything, and it's just always good to have, like, your team by your side, especially, like, when I met you for the first time, dude, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I struggle with depression big time. Everybody on some level deals with it, and, like, I think it's important that you keep your your circle, not your, like, your circle. What am I gonna say? It's important to keep, like, you have to really, like, look at your, like, if you can count all of your friends on more than one hand, count again, because you don't know who really has your best interest And, like, with all the people I've met in Speedsoft, in, like, anywhere in my life, like, I'm willing to, like, just throw chum in the water and see how they react. And I know that they trust me and I trust them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how, like, to get back on point, yes, I do, like, have it as kind of, like, an escape in that regard. And, yeah, I do see it as, like, it does help me mentally, because then I'm just like, I'm away from everything. I'm just in my own world,
Yeah, for sure. I love that, dude. I love it. But next question I have for you is, like, for event-wise, both in Speedsoft and Airsoft or outdoor milsim, anything, what do you think, like, personally, people should do better to, have new people coming in? Like, what do you think everyone can do better at? Like, for young kids, people who have never touched an airsoft gun, all of that.
I think, and I said this before, and I don't want to be redundant, but I think it's important that for teams like us, we have to set an example. And, I'm not the best at it, obviously. I'm not a filtered person. I can be very colorful with my language, and, I do struggle with self-control in regards to my emotions, especially on the field. But when it comes to, like, the youth and you want to, like, get people into the sport, I think, letting them shoot your ESG for a little bit and, like, just showing them the ropes, just, like, guiding them on the field, like, have them, like, start a 5-on-5 with you and just have them play at the home and then, like, show them where to shoot, you know what I mean? Just being, like, doing stuff like that, or, like, giving, like, a kid a patch or whatever and, like, paying for their entry and stuff like that. I think that's really attractive to, like, especially, like, their parents. Like, I think they're gonna look at that and be like, yo, I want my kid to keep doing this. Or the kid's gonna be like, yo, this is the best environment I've been in. Like, I go to Project N1 and, like, we got LTD there, we got Murder Inc., we got, like, top-notch players there. But, like, during pubs, like, for even, like, new players, I mean, like, a lot of them just, like, go all out and stuff like that. But I see a lot of what they do there, and I think they represent a really good part of the community that's out there for new players and stuff like that. And so I think it's important to, like, just show them, like, what it's all about. Show them what it's all about and just be an example. Be, like, obviously keep your emotions in check and watch your language, I think just doing, like, small things like that, really, it just attracts them and is like, oh, I gotta shoot a Polar Star Fusion ESG or a Monk Customs or 4.3 high capper with a Costa slide on it, you know what I mean? Like, just doing things like that and, like, letting them try it gives them a feel of what it's like, And I think here's another thing too. I think people just gotta, like, drop the ego, because I'm not gonna lie, like, in comparison to, like, because I know, like, your neck of the woods is, like, the scene is, like, different than SoCal. There's a lot of ego in SoCal, and there's a lot of people that are just, like, weekend warriors, and they think they're the shit, but they're not. They're really not. They don't, like, anybody can go to Code Red on weekends and just pub stomp players like it's nothing. I can do that if I wanted to. But, I think it's important that if you want to attract people to go to these arenas and stuff like that, you gotta just, like, shine out. You can't be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck shit up, fuck these. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, that's great and all, but in regards to what you just said, like, if we're trying to get, like, the youth to play, if we want them to be the future for the sport, we gotta set an example. And so that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and of course, it's all we can do, and that's what we should do.
And, like, I see what you do on your YouTube, bro. Like, getting, like, these kids to, like, try your high cap out and stuff like that, and playing with them and showing them around 801. Like, that just helps, honestly. Like, I don't see like big name creators doing that. Not to like name anybody, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
just doing like the little things like that, I think it really attracts them to the sport.
Oh yeah, it does. And you know, in fact, I was actually earlier today. I was with Apex, the kids
Mm.
at USL, and they were like, they called me up and were like, "Hey Connor, can you come coach us for a little bit, like just for an hour or so? Like we're down at 801 right now playing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come by after work." And they're like, "When do you get off work?" And I'm like, I get off work at this time." And they're like, "Okay, okay, okay." And so I go there not thinking too much. And like me, I'm like teaching them like how to peek, how to slide in properly and force a trade or, you know, whatever they want advice on. And like one of them is a really young kid who's trying to be a pistol player. And he's like, "Connor, I'm scared to get hit." And I'm like, "Bro, I'm going to tell you this right now. Do you think you have the potential to be the best?" And he's like, "I think so." I'm like, "It's a yes or no question. Tell me yes or no." And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Okay, then who cares?
Yeah,
Go in there,
exactly. Like,
go in there
bro.
and force the trade. Take as many out with you as you can.
Yeah,
Show them that
man.
you're the best."
And like, yeah, exactly. And just things like that. Like at USL, bro, to the kids,
It's
to
two
the
little
kids,
kids.
bro. That was like, oh man. And then Kevin giving them the shotgun
No,
because he
yeah,
wanted, and he was like, you know what? To the kids, bro.
to the
It
kids.
was so, man. That's what it's all about. I'm honestly like that was probably the like one of the top highlights of USL. If I'm being
Oh,
honest, that
it
was
was my highlight. LSA was second, but
no. Oh yeah, beating
this was
LSA.
number
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You can
Exactly.
imagine that.
Hmm.
No, but
Just yeah. Doing the little things like that, I think it really, it drives that motivation to keep going back, to keep
oh yeah,
trying, and that's what it's all about. It's about the community, and also like the core pillar of airsoft is playing with honor, you know, and you know
yeah,
once you like know that, and then you pass that on to the next generation, like those kids, they're gonna be like the one of the best teams in Utah, like, and also like
oh yeah.
has the ability to be national champions. Like I believe you guys, like you gotta go through like because that's what we did. We went through the adversity after like constant like just showing up to like murder night and like just trying to iron out the wrinkles and get better, and then like it paying off in the end. That's what it's all about, and I feel like you guys
Yeah.
have that ability, and I feel like the future generation has that ability. It can't just
Everybody
be
does.
it can't just be the same team over and over and over and over and over. There's
There's
got to
always an
be
underdog.
exactly. And so, and like, dude, the fact that you guys beat LSA and it took you that long to beat them, like, bro, that is y'all are number one in Utah now, man. Number
Number
one,
one.
number one.
Number
LSA,
one.
LSA who? Timu LTD. I'm just
No,
kidding. But
but yeah, dude, like you speak truth. It took a long time. We got to go through the adversity. Um, and like you said, we have a chance, like everybody else. Like no one's always not one team, not two teams is going to be the champions every time. There's always an underdog in there, and you can't count anybody out. You got to have that. What I like to tell my boys, like when we go into an opponent that we're like a little nervous about playing, like when we played Murder and you guys, we were nervous, but we were like, I don't give a crap on who the name is. I don't give a crap. If you're so worried, have that true underdog beast mentality where, like, I want to prove everybody wrong that I am the
exactly,
dog.
exactly,
So,
bro.
no, I
And
get that, bro.
yeah, that's the mentality you got to go into it because I mean that's what we did. Like honestly, I didn't think we would win nationals, even though we were just like we went in with the expectation like, hey, look, don't underestimate anybody. I don't care how good or bad they are. We're all these people. We have to go into the mindset that they're better than us, and we got to prove everybody wrong. And so
Yeah.
that's what it's about, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. I only got a few more questions for you, but my next question is like kind of like future airsoft questions for you, and it's kind of like when you see airsoft and you see potential for it to grow, what do you want it to like grow into? Like, do you want it to be bigger, like say an Olympic sport down the road, or something like grow to the point where like it's considered a real sport to a lot more people than it is now?
I do want Airsoft, well, Speedsoft in particular, to get to a point where, I mean, to the point where like HPA is more like accessible and it's like a little bit cheaper on the cheaper end. So then that way we can make entry SpeedQB rifles. I mean, like, and this leads into like what Quitski did. Quitski, who was formerly part of Bloodthirsty, him and Paul created Bloodthirsty. And
Yeah.
at that time, he was working at Lancer Tactical. And when he worked there, he made an entry level SpeedQB rifle for like $300 with the
Oh yeah.
Gay Aster 2, I think. I don't know which one it was, but like things like that, just constantly like evolving and like bringing new things into the equation and not just doing the same thing over and over. Like, I mean, well, in terms of like rule changes and stuff like that, but I think if Speedsoft is going to grow, like it has to do like what NXL is doing, like for paintball. Like you see, like they're getting like TV spots on ESPN. Why? Because they have the camera equipment to do that. They have ref clinics. And, in the future, I do see Speedsoft getting to that level, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time because we need to obviously make some tweaks to the scene. We need to have a ref clinic. We need to... I think CSL is like the closest to something like that. I think like out of all the leagues that I have seen and that I've seen people playing, CSL is like the standard.
Yeah.
Like just in terms of organizing and everything, I think if Speedsoft gets to like a level of like mainstream where it's like an Olympic sport, it's gonna be probably better than how CSL is ran by like just a little. And so I do think in order to grow the scene, we have to be a little bit more innovative. We obviously need to set an example.
Yeah.
And I think I'm optimistic. I do think in the future that Speedsoft, SpeedQB, like in general, will grow. But how are we going to do that? Only time will tell. I think if, like, with the connections that Quitski has with Mr. H and stuff like that, and I think getting big name people like streamers or whatever to try Airsoft to do like 1v1s, like, I think that would be pretty cool. So then that way it gets eyes on the sport, because I think that's what matters. We need to get eyes on it, And so I think just doing stuff like that, and I really like what Quitski has done for the scene. I think out of everybody in the Speedsoft realm, Quitski has done the most.
Yeah.
By doing video edits on Bloodthirsty, coming out with entry-level SpeedQB rifles, so then when people want to join Speedsoft, they can just go there. I mean, you look at what Murder Inc. is doing with Murder Nights, and obviously, like, SpeedQB and everything being hosted there. And then, obviously, Quitski moving to Hostile, and, like, it's going off. It's taking off. That's what's helping us. And that's what's keeping the scene afloat, in my opinion. And so I feel like if we're going to grow it, we have to evolve. We have to progress in, like, in the right direction in regards to, like, gear and everything. And also, like, I think the most important thing is getting eyes on it. As long as we get the 100%. Eyes on it, if we get attention on the sport, like on all major platforms to the point where it becomes mainstream and we get like Kai Cenat or Jinxie or Speed or any of these like big name streamers trying it out. Like, I think a while back, Tyson At got like a SEMA Plat AK from, or not a SEMA Plat AK, but it was like one of the guns from like a video game. I forgot. And doing things like that, I think, would help grow the scene, like reaching out to these people. So ultimately, at the end of the day, to answer your question, if we're going to get Speedsoft to grow, I feel like it's, one, we have to set an example. Two, we have to evolve, like in terms of like gear, in terms of like everybody, like adding more teams to the scene. And then three, we need eyes on it. I think that is what is going to grow the scene. Because that's what paintball is. You know, paintball went through an evolution phase from when it started until now. Like, back then, it was just backyard. Everybody and their mom was doing it, you know. And then, like, parks started popping up left or right. And then the competitive scene started in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s. And look at where it is now in terms of progression, in terms of, like, the paintball markers and how advanced they become and, like, how accessible it is. I feel like Airsoft needs to do the same thing, and we're in that stage. It's just there's a couple things that are keeping us afloat, and we need to progress. That's... Yeah.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you joining me on this show, and I appreciate all the advice and you're telling us your journey on the Airsoft. Like, it's insane to hear, you know, kind of more in detail about it. And, you know, it's incredible to hear and get to chat with people like you and all over, just to kind of meet you guys, play with you guys, compete with you guys. It's kind of like a dream come true. Like I said to you before, I look up to you boys. I look up to Murder. I look up to all those guys, especially you, man. And, you know, you helping us through our NSL journey, through USL, through all of the stuff. You guys have been huge examples. So keep doing what you're doing. And obviously, we're going to be working together on some stuff. Don't worry.
Of course. But, I hope I answered your questions and I wasn't super redundant. I'm a little bit. I have ADHD.
Dude, I would have done the same thing. You did great. You did great. And like again, I thank you so much, Venom, for coming out. My last thing is for our little outro question is kind of going to be like, what advice do you have for the future generation for the sport?
The advice that I have for the future generation is try. Just try. Try, like, and this, like, applies to anything. Try literally anything within your capacity as a human being because you don't know what opportunities can be thrown at you. And, like, say for an example, like, let's say, like, later on in the years when SpeedQB progresses to the point where, like, you know, we're having, like, major companies sponsor these events and everything, and it's becoming more lucrative. I feel like if you just keep trying and pouring in, like, every single day, and you worked on your craft, you worked on your call-outs, you worked on your kill count, you worked on everything to the point where, like, people can start reaching out to you, you know? Like, for me, like, I, the reason why, like, I joined was because, well, I didn't really want to do it, but I did it anyway, and I had opportunities jump at me like that. Like, I got a team to sign me because I progressed as a player. And then, also on top of that, like, you could possibly get sponsors if you're, like, constantly, like, if you're next to the field and you're cranking out content like it's nothing, like, you could be making, like, crazy numbers. And you can make that lucrative. You could be making money off of that. And so I feel like my advice for people who want to or who are interested is just try. Just try. Don't, like, try it once and then quit. Just try. You know, because, like I said, and not to be redundant, you don't know what can jump at you. Any opportunity can jump at you within the scene. And yeah, it's niche. And yeah, it's not like paintball where you have, like, JT, you have, like, San Diego Dynasties getting peptides and all these deals and everything because Ryan Greenspan is, like, the Tom Brady of paintball. But still, it gives us a chance to grow the scene. And also, I feel like it will get to a point where this sport will be mainstream, and also, like, it gets more eyes on the sport and people are interested. And
Yeah.
so, the advice is try everything. Try everything, like whether it's a new rifle, a shotgun, or a pistol. Do limited class events, jungle balls, Speedsoft, outdoor Milsim play. Eddie Valiant does everything, and look at where he's at. Bro is literally living off of playing airsoft. And I feel like anybody has the ability to do that. And so, like, to wrap this up, it's just try. Just try. So.
Yeah. I love it. Well, guys, we thank you for joining Bigger Than Airsoft. I'm your host, Ocho. Big shout out to CPT Venom or Ryan for joining us today. Give a shout out to him. Go follow CPT Venom, CPT Speedsoft on Instagram. Go follow their airsoft journey and support them along their way trying to defend their title as the SpeedQB champions. But again, I'm your host, Ocho, and I'll see you next time on the field.
Of course.
Peace out.
And wait. Before we go, shout out Project N1, shout out Tax City, shout out Murder Inc., shout out Marshmallow Hunter, shout out CPT, shout out that team doesn't exist anymore. Shout out Send It Squad, shout out Rutgers, shout out screw LSA. Shout out LTD. Shout out was it Synthwave Genesis, my boys from Vegas. Those guys were some dogs. I think out of the teams that went to USL, they were like my favorite, if I'm being honest. Shout out Slashers. Shout out San Diego Kaiju, my dogs. Zay and Squatch, my dogs. And Hammy, of course. Don't forget to shout out him. And also, shout out you, Ocho, straight up, man. I mean, I'm glad that we were able to talk about, this whole scene and, like, how we can really get it to grow. And also, like, to touch on important issues, like, obviously, when we go play airsoft, leave it at the door and everything. And, dude, like, you've done so much. Like, I don't think you realize this. We got, like, a couple new teams that are competing because of USL. Like, at Tax City and N1. We just had a new team that pulled up. And, like, I didn't even recognize these guys. And they were like, oh, yeah, we saw the USL stream. And I was like, dude, we're making moves, bro. And so, dude, I just wanted to, thank you for having me on. And, I hope I get to be on here again. So.
You will be on here again. And next time I might just interview all CPT.
Heck
I'll get you guys all on here, don't worry. But again, thank you for joining, brother. It's always good talking to you about airsoft and just about life in general, brother. I love you so much. You're my brother from Cali, man.
Of course, and you're my brother from Utah.
Yeah, my man.
From the police state, Utah. I'm just kidding. No. I'm joking. But, man.
But all right. But much love to you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you on the field, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll see you
Full
there.
Send or no send.
Full send, baby.
Full
That's
send.
what it's about.
Hell yeah. See you, brother.
Heck yeah. See you, bro.